5 reasons why you're still skinny fat. This is the only video you ever need. This video isn't for people who need dopamine hits, constant edits, constant B-roll clips, right? This video is specifically for people who are skinny fat, that are tired of being skinny fat, hating the person they see in the mirror, and absolutely want to transform their identity and confidence. I'm not here to bullshit you. I'm here to tell you the harsh truth that you need and the advice that you need that will take you from skinny fat to jacked, feeling more confident and having an identity about yourself. Because let's be honest, I've been someone who has been skinny fat, and I've also coached skinny fat people get to this jacked outcome. And one thing I can tell you is that their confidence improves drastically, right? And exactly the same with me. Same thing happened is I got into shape. I said to myself, I'm not going to be skinny fat anymore. And my whole life changed. Everything that I do now is because I decided to get into shape. And my confidence, my everything, you can see, I feel good. I feel amazing. And yeah, definitely this will be the video, only video you need. So let's kick it straight off, all right? And if you are new here, my name is Horace. I'm here to help individuals become the best person they need to be. No bullshit, just the harsh truth. And people need the harsh truth. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm the sort of coach and I'm the sort of person that really wants you to change, but will tell you what you really need to hear, not what you want to hear. And if it sounds like you are someone who, you know, resides with this and likes this kind of content, then be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to impact millions of people in this world, and it's always been a dream of mine to impact many lives. So if you are someone who's going to stick around for the video, be sure to subscribe and like, and let me know in the comments anything that you're struggling with, and I'll try my best to get back to you. So let's go into the first thing that's keeping you skinny fat. And most people that I know, most of my clients, etc., this is the one thing that they were struggling with, right? They think that they need to go and get into a fat loss phase, right? Now, this is partially true, but this is the issue. What most people do is that they cut their calories by a lot, right? Let's say their maintenance is 2,000 calories. They'll cut their calories to about 1,500, right? Now, why is this an issue? This is an issue is because you're not leaving enough calories to actually start building muscle, which is actually your main concern. Now, most people who are skinny fat, yes, you need to lose that body fat that you initially have because you don't want to bulk and start gaining more fat. But what you need to do is you need to drop body fat as well as putting on muscle. So the first thing that people do wrong is that they think they just have to cut weight. And exactly something you probably thought as well, right? You're skinny fat and you think about fat and you're saying, you know what, I need to cut as much fat as possible, cut as much weight, and then you end up looking worse and you actually end up looking skinny, kind of like this guy over here. And I'm sure you guys don't want to look like that. That's probably one of the only edits that I'll do, but you don't want to look like that, right? Simply, you're going to have no identity and no confidence and you're going to end up looking worse, right? So what I recommend is this. I need you to focus on fat loss, yes, but your calories isn't going to be too into a deep deficit, right? So let's say your maintenance calories is around 2,500, for example. I want you to eat at 2,300 calories. Why? Because you only need to drop it a little bit in the beginning. Because in the beginning, when you're skinny fat and you're hardly trained and you're new to the gym, you are in one of those positions where you can start building muscle and losing fat at the exact same time. Now, what we want to do is definitely eliminate the fat and start off with a clean slate. Now, this goes on to number 2, which most people do as well. And not most, and you can say 50-50, right? Some people think, yes, they have a muscle issue, which is true. You don't have enough muscle, that's why you look skinny fat. So they go into a bulking phase and they actually start eating in a surplus. Now, this is another issue. If you start going into a surplus and you go into a bulking phase, what's going to happen is you're going to gain more fat, which is going to make you look even worse. Now, you might put on some muscle, yes, 100%, as long as your protein is high, but you're only increasing your fat levels, which is going to make it harder for you down the line, right? And you're going to have to do a very big cutting phase to get back into where you want to be. Now, bulking is something which I don't even recommend most of the time. It's like you don't need to do a heavy bulk to gain muscle. Yes, you can do it and it will work, but you also have to cut back a lot of the fat. And when you look at it as if you were to lead bulk, for example, you probably gain the same amount of muscle because you're going to spend the same time burning the fat as well. So yeah, this is what people do. They start bulking, so you don't want to bulk. And never bulk if you're skinny fat because this will ruin your physique. You're going to look worse. You're going to have no identity, no confidence, and you don't want to go down that road because it's going to become much harder for you to lose it, right? Simple. The third thing that keeps people skinny fat is that they don't train properly. They go to the gym, go in there thinking, I'm just going to burn fat, do cardio, does so many minutes of cardio, and guess what? End up looking worse. Why? Because they're not training like a bodybuilder. They're not training for strength and muscle, right? When you are skinny fat, you have a high percentage of body fat, but you have a low percentage of muscle. That's why you look rubbish, right? You look like you don't even train, right? It looks horrible. And it's definitely a position where you want to change, right? So what you need to do is you need to train like a bodybuilder, like this is what I say, and train for strength, right? You want to train every single week where you're improving on your lifts. So let's say, for example, you're doing a bench press, right? And you've got a good 4-day plan or a 5-day plan, and you start benching. Every single week, you want to try and either get an extra rep or increase the weight. What is this called? This is called progressively overloading. Now, you can only do this is one, if you actually push yourself, train towards failure, etc. Not do 10 reps when you could do 20 reps and no changes to your body, right? You might be doing that right now. You might go to the gym and you might say, oh, I can do 20 kg bench or 20 kg dumbbells and I can do 30 reps, right? Even though you could probably do 30 kg, right? Probably won't be that high in the beginning because you're new to the gym, but that's just giving you an example, right? You need to train within the 8 to 10 rep range. This is so important, right? Train for strength and train for size. That is exactly what you need to be doing, all right? If you want to build a proper workout plan, that is exactly what you need to do, and you can do this online. You can find any workout plan. Information is absolutely everywhere. There is no excuse for you to not get started at least. But information isn't what kills most people, right? It's the accountability, etc. And if you are someone who wants a tailored workout plan, a tailored meal plan, a proven roadmap to get you from where you are to where you want to be in the next 6 months, DM me the word ready on Instagram or check the link in the bio. Go to my Insta, reply to my stories, my DMs, and reply to me ready, and I'll take you on for my one-to-one coaching. This is not for everyone, but it's for serious individuals who are willing to change and invest themselves for the next 6 months and are absolutely 100% driven to get there. So if this isn't you, please do not join my coaching. My coaching is very specific and it is for people who want to improve their identity and confidence. But yeah, let's get straight back into the video. Now, the fourth thing that's keeping you skinny fat is the fact that you don't want to track calories. Now, this can go to actually anyone that's really trying to get into shape, right? You estimate calories, you think you know exactly how many calories is in food, you don't track and you just eat regardless and do anything, right? And think you're going to change. That is the reason you don't change, is because you don't want to put in that extra effort. And all my clients that I've spoken to before they came to me, none of them were tracking calories. And they kept asking me, Horace, why is it that I'm skinny fat? I said, okay, how many calories do you eat in a day? They said, I don't know, probably about 2,000, 2,500. I said, okay, cool. How much protein you hitting? I don't know, maybe like 150 grams, etc. I said to them, cool, let's consistently track it for a week. Whatever you're doing currently, let's just do that. And guess what? They're not eating enough calories, they're under eating, they're having absolutely nowhere near the level of protein they need to be having to start building muscle. Why? Because they're guessing. If you want serious results and you want to actually change your body, you need to do the extra work. Simple, right? Start tracking your calories, start tracking your protein, start tracking your macros, right? It adds what? 20 minutes to your day? Max. You're dossing around for 20 minutes, you're on your phone scrolling, you're watching this video even, right? But my point is, you have time to track your calories. Track your bloody calories if you want change. There hasn't been someone who's in incredible shape that has not tracked what's going inside their stomach. And you get to a point, just like me, who's been training for over 7 years, where yes, you can eyeball with a lot more accuracy, right? A lot of you guys don't know how to do it. You might think 4 eggs has 80 grams of protein, where it doesn't. It has about 30. Right? You have to be putting in the extra work in order to see the results that you want to receive, right? That's exactly what you've got to do. You have to put in that extra work to start counting your calories so you know what's going inside your stomach, and you don't have to do this forever. You get to a certain point where you understand food, right? But for a period of time in your life, if you want these results, you have to put in this kind of work, right? So number 4 is that you just don't know what you're tracking and you don't know what you're eating, and this is exactly what you need to start doing. Start tracking your calories, start eating and understanding what your deficit is, how much under your maintenance you need to be eating, how much protein. Again, this is how you're going to see a drastic change in your physique, and you can see this change in the first 60 to 90 days by just doing this alone, and then you understand how your body works, etc. So what is the last one? The number 5, right? Number 5 is so simple. You expect results fast. Oh, Horace, I've been dieting for 4 weeks. Why do I still look like this? You're not going to look amazing in 4 weeks. What person in 4-6 weeks looks absolutely incredible, going from absolutely nothing? Right? What person ever got rich from doing something quick? How rare is it? 0.1%, right? You need to understand, you need to allow time. Building muscle takes time. Losing fat takes time. You guys want quick results, and that's one of the things that's keeping you from getting to the next level. Because after a period of not seeing anything, you start to think this shit isn't working for me. And that's exactly what's keeping you skinny fat with no identity. So just to go through everything we've spoken about, here's exactly now how you go from skinny fat to jacked, right? As we spoke about, number one, you need to be making sure that you are cutting fat and building muscle at the same time. How are you going to do this? Find your maintenance calories. You can go on tdee.co.uk. I'll tag it in the bio below. Find out your maintenance calories. I want you to start off by deducting 200 to 300 under those maintenance calories, right? Max, nothing more than that. Making sure that you're having 2 times your grams of protein. So for example, if you are 70 kg, you need to be aiming for 140 to 150 grams of protein per day. And if you are tracking your protein in pounds or your body weight in pounds, then you would be having a gram per pound per body weight. So if you're 150 pounds, you need to be having at least 150 grams of protein. The reason why you're not building muscle is because you're not eating enough protein. You, as a newbie in the gym, as a skinny fat person, you can eat at maintenance even, or just drop into a calorie deficit, because normally if you're tracking and you're new to tracking and you're eating at maintenance, you're most likely going to go into a surplus. So eat in that 200 to 300 calorie deficit range, keeping protein high, and I guarantee you, you combine this now with number 3, which is training like a bodybuilder, training for strength and lifting with a purpose. If you want to lift like a little pipsqueak, then you'll be a little pipsqueak. If you want to lift with purpose and you want to be that person that you want to be, that jacked individual, that confident person that's going to walk into the room and everyone's going to feel their presence, you need to train like that person as well. Because if you keep training like this person that you currently are, you're going to stay the exact same. And the 4th thing you need to be doing is tracking your calories. Again, if you don't know what's going inside your body, then do not expect results that you want to see. If you don't have the time and the effort and you don't want to put in that work to track your calories and track and weigh the food, for example, right? Weigh that you're actually having 200 grams of chicken breast, right? Weighing so you know and you have data. Data is so important, especially in absolutely everything. In business, numbers are so important. Why? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. You put the numbers down, you can look back and say, okay, I'm currently eating 2,500 calories and my weight staying the same. All right, let's start eating 2,400. And guess what? Your weight starts dropping slow by slow, right? That goes on to number 5. Time, patience. If you don't have patience, you will never ever get the physique of your dreams. People, fitness is a lifestyle. You need to build habits. The habits you gain from fitness will go into everything else you do. But you need patience. Don't try and give up straight away after 4 weeks because you haven't seen anything. Of course, you're not going to see anything in 4 weeks. Of course. And why is that? It's because a good body does not take a short time to make, right? Good body takes years and years of progressing and learning and failing and building, right? But why do I make these videos? So you avoid the failure, so you just carry on building. So if you found this video useful and you like this raw, authentic kind of vibe, then be sure to follow and subscribe. Any questions you had regarding this video, if there's any bit that's confused you and you still don't know what to do, drop your comment in the comment section below and I will do my best to get back to you and help you out with whatever you need. Again, if you are really serious and you want to work one-to-one with me, DM me the word ready on Instagram, link in the bio, and we will start working and we will guarantee those results for you, just like some of my clients over here that put in the work when they had to, right? Sacrifice the part of their life which is needed in order to improve. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. You were born to win.